Your roadmap to the latest in auto? Welcome to Highway Herald. The auto world just got flipped on its hood. In a dramatic shakeup, Germany's elite trio, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi, are pulling back from the US market. The spark? A sudden tariff blitz from the Trump administration. What started as a tweet has now ignited a full-scale industry disruption, threatening jobs, supply chains, and showroom stability. From trade tension to tech migration, the stakes are massive. Here are the 5 key developments behind the chaos. Number 5. Tariffs ignite the firestorm. This whole mess kicked off with a digital bombshell. A single tweet from President Trump announcing a sweeping 25% tariff on imported vehicles and components. No summit, no lead-up, just a raw ultimatum. Build in America or face the financial consequences. For German giants like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi, it triggered a full-blown financial tailspin. BMW's Spartanburg, South Carolina plant, America's top vehicle exporter, was producing 270,000 SUVs annually. Mercedes-Benz's Alabama facility wasn't far behind. Audi, which had no US production footprint, was completely reliant on imports and instantly vulnerable. Suddenly, the economics fell apart. Engines, ECUs, transmissions, even digital dashboards. Every single imported component came with thousands of dollars in extra cost. Passing those on to consumers wasn't viable. Absorbing them meant bleeding money. As for reshoring production, not realistic. These brands had spent decades perfecting intricate global supply chains across Germany, Mexico, and Slovakia. Rebuilding that infrastructure in the US would take years and billions. With no path forward, the automakers bolted. Mercedes paused shipments. Audi halted deliveries. BMW froze investments. This wasn't a retreat, it was a strategic escape. But the financial chaos wasn't the only problem. Real damage hit the ground level next. Number 4. From showroom to shutdown, the US feels the burn. The impact of German automakers pulling back from the US didn't stop at corporate boardrooms. It hit hard at the local level. In Spartanburg, South Carolina, BMW was more than a brand. It was the cornerstone of a $26 billion regional economy, supporting over 43,000 jobs. Mercedes-Benz's plant in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, sustained thousands of American families. Even Audi, despite not building cars in the US, contributed significantly through dealerships, marketing operations, and parts distribution. When the exit began, the fallout was swift. Dealerships found themselves with overpriced inventory and uncertain parts supply. Customers grew confused about service and warranty support. Worse, the disruption extended deep into the supply chain. More than 2,500 US suppliers, from metal shops in Ohio to tech firms in California, saw contracts vanish overnight. Some went bankrupt. Others relocated abroad. Analysts forecast a $45 billion loss in automotive trade, including $15 billion in reduced exports of American-built models like the BMW X5. This wasn't just a tariff consequence. It dismantled an ecosystem built over decades of global collaboration. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more automotive deep dives just like this. Stay in the fast lane with us. Meanwhile, as the US economy reeled, Germany's automakers weren't waiting around. They were already racing east. Number 3. From Detroit to Dongguan, Germany bets on China. As the US imposed harsh tariffs, Germany's top automakers, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi, responded not with hesitation, but with a decisive pivot toward China. While Washington closed doors, Beijing opened them wide with market incentives, policy stability, and massive EV demand. Mercedes-Benz shifted its next-gen EV platform from the US to China. BMW committed to a large-scale manufacturing hub in Chengdu. Even Audi, usually the most cautious, accelerated partnerships with Chinese tech firms. But this was more than a production shift. German brands re-engineered their innovation pipelines for the Chinese market. Design studios emerged in Shanghai and Shenzhen. Joint development of autonomous driving tech began with local AI firms. Luxury interiors were restyled to match Chinese consumer preferences. The move rippled through the supply chain too. US-based suppliers lost contracts as German companies sourced more from Asia. For the US, this wasn't just a blow to production. It marked a decline in global automotive prestige. Germany didn't retreat. They advanced strategically, choosing China as their new center of innovation and influence. But if Germany turned east, what about the opportunity left behind? Let's talk about Detroit. Number 2, a double-edged sword for Detroit. At first glance, the German pullout might have looked like a golden opportunity for Detroit's Big Three. With premium showroom real estate suddenly up for grabs, one might expect Ford, GM, and Stellantis to be shifting into high gear. But instead of a market share grab, they're navigating a complex, high-stakes recalibration. Turns out, tariffs don't pick sides. The same import duties that pressured German automakers are hitting US brands just as hard, especially in the tech-heavy areas of modern vehicles. ECUs, lithium-ion batteries, camera sensors, and infotainment systems. Many of these critical components are sourced from overseas and are now tariff targets. Ford has already warned of a $1.5 billion hit to earnings. GM and Stellantis have paused forward guidance entirely, citing an unpredictable trade climate. These are global automakers now operating with domestic handcuffs. Add in the loss of innovation pressure. German engineering has long pushed US brands to compete harder. BMW's hybrid drivetrains, Mercedes' user interfaces, Audi's Quattro AWD. Without that push, progress may stall. Detroit isn't dominating a vacuum, it's trying to survive the fallout. But behind all of these decisions lies a deeper current, one driven by global trade chaos. Number 1, the trade war that won't shift gears. Zooming out, the German automaker retreat is just one fragment of a much larger geopolitical puzzle. What started as a single policy move by the US has escalated into a full-throttle trade war, one with no pit crew in sight and no clear finish line. Germany's government and the EU condemned the Trump-era tariffs as a direct hit on Europe's industrial backbone. With 3.4 million vehicles exported by Germany in 2024, many headed for American roads. The blow was massive. Retaliation felt inevitable. EU trade officials fired back with proposed counter-tariffs, turning what could have been a policy dispute into an economic slugfest. Meanwhile, the UK attempted to sidestep the chaos, negotiating partial tariff exemptions to protect its own exports. But this patchwork approach only added confusion for global automakers, making long-term planning a nightmare. This volatility has changed the game. Manufacturers are now favoring stability over savings, choosing to build in regions with regulatory certainty. While America may gain some jobs short-term, it risks falling behind globally. In this new trade landscape, predictability isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So with all these shifts in motion, what does the road ahead actually look like? Final lap. Where do we go from here? The exit of German automakers from US soil isn't just a business shift, it's a historic pivot in global auto dominance. Decades of engineering, luxury, and transatlantic synergy are now steering toward China's rapidly growing EV sector. BMW, Mercedes, and Audi aren't folding. They're reinventing in a market with clear policies and massive potential. Meanwhile, the US is stuck between protectionism and progress, facing an uncertain path forward. Can America bounce back? Possibly, but it'll take more than tough talk. It needs policy stability, supply chain access, and innovation rooted in vision, not retaliation. Now we want your take. Was the trade war worth the price tag for US jobs and car buyers? Can isolation breed innovation, or is collaboration essential? And who really wins this shift? America, Germany, or China? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your take on the road ahead. And don't forget, subscribe to Highway Herald and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the fast lane of the auto world. Thanks for watching and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.